So we installed Bower, but why Bower? And if you see this command over here, it's like we're installing a package manager, which is Bower, from another package manager, which is npm, right?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. And there's this joke that people do like, hey, what is Bower? A package manager. How do I install it? Use npm. What's npm? A package manager. So it's like, what's the point, right?
Well, it comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, so why should we use Bower and not npm? So here's the thing. Like, imagine you need these two packages. Both depend on a different version of the same package. So we have jQuery model, and we have that depends on jQuery 1.0, and we have the jQuery carousel that depends on the 2.1.3. And we try to run these two packages on the same page, or we try to fetch these two packages. You have like different dependencies. It's the same dependency, but different version of the same dependency. So you're gonna have trouble. So that's why package managers are important. They are here to like help you manage those things, help you manage these kinds of problems. And on a real project, you're gonna have like 20 dependencies, depending on how you're gonna build your project. But if you're trying to assemble an application with those small pieces, you can get those situations. So what npm does is they put this nested tree of dependencies. So you have this folder node modules, and inside of the folder node modules you have both of your packages that you're trying to get, jQuery carousel and jQuery model. And inside of them, they put their particular version of jQuery. Here it's like 2, and here it's like 1. So this is totally alright for Node.js, because Node.js, you're not running, like you can have 3,000 packages on your Node.js application, and you're not going to have any trouble with performance or whatever. So this is totally fine in the Node.js environment, but not in the browser. If I try to run two different versions of jQuery on the same page, it's gonna blow and it's not gonna work. So what Bower does is they put all your dependencies on a flat tree. So you have the Bower dependencies folder, and you have only one jQuery version, and you have the two packages that you want. So it's gonna ask you, hey, there's a conflict of versions. Which one do you want to use? You tell which one do you want to use, and then you're gonna have this. So you're never going to have two different versions of the same library on your dependencies. And this is really important for the browser environment. Not only about performance, but it's not going to work. If you have two versions on the same page, it's not going to work. So this is why we're using Bower. Once npm decides that, okay, we need flat dependency tree, and then we're not going to need Bower anymore. But right now, for the browser, we need Bower.
How does that work, though? Like, if one requires version 1, the other requires version 2, and it says, which one do you want? Well, that might break.
Mm-hmm. We can check this out. So, let me try to find a package that depends on a Node version of Polymer. This one. So I'm just gonna get this one, and this package depends on Bower on Polymer 0.3. So this was made really on the beginning. And I'll try to get this other package which depends on Polymer 1.0. And if I try to run both on the same page, it's going to break. So I'm just going to create some application over here. here's the bower usage. So the first command that we need is bower init. This command will create the bower JSON file on our application. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run that. And there's a bunch of questions that this command is gonna ask me, like, hey, what's the name of your app? What's the version of your app? Description, main file, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Okay, okay, okay. Looks good, looks good. So you can do the same thing, just go to any folder, type bower init.
So we should be following along with you on this step. You're not using it solely as a explain his.
Yeah, you can run this command just to see what's gonna happen,
Okay.
but for the other sample command, you don't need to follow. So you ran that, what happened?
There's the bower JSON file.
So they put this bower JSON file in our folder, and just gonna open that. I have some keys. Okay, and now I will describe my dependencies. So I'm gonna depend on video camera, and voice elements. So I declared the dependencies that I needed, and if I try to install these dependencies, bower install, it's calculating what is different, what do we need to get, and then I got this message over here. Unable to find a suitable version for Polymer. Please choose one. And then we have these three options. So I'm just gonna go with the number 3. And now what I got was Polymer, the voice elements. I got Polymer 1.0. I got Web Components.js, which is a dependency of Polymer. I got and core component page, which is a dependency from Polymer or from any other package here. And we got the video camera. So if I take a look to this folder, oh, this is not gonna work. So I have bower JSON and I have bower components now. I'll just take a look what's going on the bower components page. This is what I have. Just one version of Polymer. So that's how you install things. You can just type bower install, and you can put the name of the GitHub owner / name of the GitHub repo. And that last part is the tag, the git tag version that you wanna put.
What?
So this part, it's the git tag. So when you have a GitHub repo, you can create tags with git, which tells you like, hey, this is my latest release, 1.0, this is 0.2, this is 0.1. So if you have a library, you have a project, you are like maintaining this and other people are relying on this, and then you want to put a new feature on that, you need to release a different version. Or you need to update some API and you are breaking things for your users, so you need to let them know. And how you name those versions, we're going to come to that. But this is really important as well. There's a lot of concepts that are attached to package management. And since we're using Bower to fetch Polymer, we need to understand those ones too.
Should we CD into a specific file to install this, or?
No, so this is just a sample, like you can go ahead and install just to see what's gonna happen. Bower install, Polymer, and if I just leave it like this, it's gonna get the latest version, or I can just describe a certain version that I want specifically. If we check the releases page, we're gonna see that there are 62 releases. Oh, and there's a new version. I don't need to get 1.0.0, so I can just type like Polymer, and it's gonna fetch the latest version of Polymer. I got a conflict because I have these other dependencies on my project, and now I'm just gonna get this. So this is how.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So this is how you install.
Question.
Wow.
Did you do an ls-tree or space tree? That was cool.
Yeah.
I've
So
never seen that.
this one. Let me go to a different. No. I just have this utility here that generates a tree of files based on a certain.
So that's not native to Unix.
No. What is native is ls and ls dash la or l.
LAH.
Yeah.
You could do LAH. Have you seen that?
This. No.
LAH. I haven't seen LG.
Yeah, so you get different stuff. Cool. And, okay, one thing you're gonna notice. So we have this Bower JSON, right? We have the dependencies listed over here. If I just type like I did last time, sample app. So I just hit Bower install. So I did that, and it installed a different version of Polymer on my folder, but it didn't update my dependency list. So in order to do that, I can just type like this, and now they're gonna put this on my dependency list. Just a shortcut, just something to keep in mind. Don't need to worry about this. And when there's a new version of Polymer, or a new version of video camera element, or a new version of voice elements, I just need to type Bower update, and it's gonna fetch these dependencies for me. And we can simulate that. So I'm just gonna get I'm gonna fetch an older version of voice elements on purpose, like this one. Okay, so I'm fetching that. And take a look to that. So I'm trying to fetch an older version of voice elements, right? And this version of voice elements, if we take a look at this, into this code, this older version, it depends on Polymer 0.5. So now I have a different version conflict that I need to resolve. like, hey, video camera still depends on 0.3. In this other package depends on 0.5, which one you want. And I have a different conflict, okay, resolve those. So I have an older version of Polymer, of voice elements. If I type bower update, oh, I need to just take this off. Okay, now it's a different resolution that I need to do, but the important thing is like, hey, this is a new version of voice elements that I need, and this is what it's fetching, and just resolve that. Okay, now I have new versions of my dependencies. So this part, it's only important if you are using components from other people, or if you are altering components and you want to put out there. You want to put on GitHub, you want to put for the community to consume that. And you really need to understand what semantic versioning is in order to maintain a software. Any piece of software, like, why is those like version 1, version 2, beta, what are those things? Like people, like from years now, like people are releasing new versions of software, and now we're coming to an agreement of how should we release new versions of software. So you can go to this website, SamVer, and if you want to learn more about this. But the basic idea is that you have major, you have minor, and you have patch. So 1.0.0. So you have major is 1, O it's minor, and patch O again. So the major version, when you need to release you make some API incompatible. So Polymer was rewritten. So they released a major version, okay, 1.0. So the things that you had before, they're not gonna work. If you are just including a new feature, you are adding some functionality, but you are maintaining the backwards compatible. So this is a minor version. So I have like some package, and I just put this new feature. My users can update their projects because it's not going to break. You're just adding some new stuff. And patch is when you fix some bug and you are maintaining the same API. So you got this idea? Is it clear? Cool, right? So major version, you have your package and you are breaking stuff. You need to know the people that are using your package, hey, I'm breaking stuff. If you want to update this, be careful. If you want to release a minor version, hey, here's a new feature. If you want to release a patch, 1. So Polymer has those versions. Let's check Polymer's history. So they have released 1.0.5, 1.0.2, 1.0.3. So they're just fixing bugs. I know that they're not introducing a new feature. I know that they're not breaking any API. So I can trust and update this package on my application, and I know that things are not going to break. Cool? So this is how this is like an agreement on how we should release software. And then we have other things, like when you are declaring your dependencies, I can say that voice elements depends on Polymer greater than 1.0.0. So everything that is greater than this, I'm gonna fetch Polymer. So I don't care if Polymer is gonna release new versions, like new bug fixes, and once they release, I want to get those bug fixes. Let's say it's like this. So I want to get all the new Polymer bug fixes and new versions as well. So this is gonna fetch everything, like my package works with any version of Polymer that is greater than 1.0. This is one way of defining dependencies. If we use caret, then include everything that is greater than a particular version in the same major range. So anything that, like, Polymer can add new features and update this one, yeah, greater than a particular version on the same. So both these can be updated, and I'll still like get new versions. And this one, only if a patch was added, I'm gonna fetch this dependency. So this is like a way of fetching dependencies, and you can just put like this instead of making hard-coded, like, hey, I depend on Polymer 1.0. You can just say this, I depend on Polymer 1.0. But then there are like 5 new versions of Polymer that are fixing bugs, and I'm not fetching those versions. So I can just say, I depend on Polymer 1.0, and if there's any bug fix, I'm gonna get, because I'm declaring that I want any version that that they have released that updates the patch. Okay, and if they include new features, I want to get this as well. So I can just type this, and I'll get anything that they update in this too. And if I get more, I can get anything, like any updates that they do. Can be a major version as well. I'm gonna update. And like if you want to like get your head around this, there's this npm semver calculator. So we can like package like jQuery. So jQuery 1.0.x, this is the dependencies that I'm gonna get. 1.0.0, 1.0.1, 1.0.2. This is gonna get same thing. This one is gonna get 1.2, 1.3, 1.0. And
That's good to reference until you get used to it.
What's that website?
NPM calculator.
Semver npm calculator. You can find that on npm semantic versioning calculator. Semantic version calculator.
Cool.
Hey Zeno, did you create a link for today's slides?
Yeah, so this one we're not doing any code with that. So you can download this.
No, we're at 20 minutes, let's drop here.
Okay.
Let's